Good afternoon. Here is the news at 4. First, the highlights. Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA), Nigerian College of Aviation Technology call for capacity building to sustain zero accident record in air travel. Lagos State government allays fears of residents over coronavirus, assures of being on top of situation. And the foreign scene, Syria air raid kills dozens of Turkey troops. And in sports, Nigerian Chinazum Osu targets medal in 2021 World Taekwondo Championships. Now the details. My name is Taiwo Baruwa. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) and the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology (NCAT) have urged aviation stakeholders to take advantage of training and retraining programs to improve the safety record of the sector. The two bodies at the opening of a training workshop for aviation reporters and communication officers of various parastatals recently in Zaria, Kaduna State said the current zero accident was sustainable with more capacity building for practitioners. NCAA's Director General Musa Nuhu said the industry continued to achieve zero accident in the commercial category amid consistent success in aviation administration recertification, various international aviation organization adults, and the Transport Security Administration approvals. On his part, NCAT Rector Abdusalami Mohammed added that the federal government has substantially invested in NCAT to meet the capacity development needs of the industry and further deepen the safety records. Minister of State for the Environment Sharon Ikeazo has sued for synergy among relevant government agencies and the private sector in the fight against environmental pollution. Ikeazo said the ministry will establish more recycling plants for the collection of plastics and other litter that will be cleared from the oceans. According to her, the ministry has started right with sensitization on what to do with plastics. To reduce the number of unclaimed driver's licenses, the Lagos State Motor Vehicle Administration Agency (MVAA) has extended its days of operation to Saturdays across its various stations. MVAA's Director of Control and Regulation of Licensees, Ibrahim Bishi, who stated this today, listed the location of the stations to include Ojodu, Sura, Shomolu, Ikorodu, Apapa, Alaka, Agege, Alimosho, Ekpe, and Kokaguda. Bishi also explained that managers of such stations carry out door-to-door distributions of licenses to applicants so as to reduce the backlog being experienced across the state.
Gone are the days, I want to emphasize again, gone are the days that the processing and issuance of driver license take longer period. Within 2 weeks now, your driver license will be ready. So I'm appealing to those applicants that apply for driver license in the past 2 or 3 weeks to please go to our stations and see that their driver license is ready. And again, I want to appeal that when you are filling your form, make sure you write your correct telephone number and addresses. It is that we use to locate you to get your driver license to you.
He appealed to Lagosians, especially the motoring public, to always patronize the right places when processing the document of their vehicles. In line with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's themes agenda, youth, especially the unemployed ones, have been urged to channel their trades energy towards agriculture for livelihood. Speaking at a one-day mentorship seminar themed Strategy for Wealth Creation, Commissioner of Wealth Creation and Employment Yetunde Arobieke said agriculture is a sector that can boost any country's economy by providing sustainable growth and job opportunities. While there is need for more involvement of the youth population in the business of agriculture, Arobieke also said they should see it as a lifestyle and a business that requires focus and hard work. She called on the youth of the state, both employed and unemployed, to understand the intricacies of agriculture business, good management strategies in order to succeed and be credit worthy.
Is the only sustainable sector that can continuously upgrade an economy, and we will not have any cause to regret. Look at the way we were in the 60s when we were, a main, nation to be reckoned with when it comes to cocoa and all other agri products. We lost it along the line just because we saw oil. Rather that, and it was said here that we should have complemented it. We should have used, the resources from the agri to really grow. I mean, from the oil to really grow our Greek economy. And by now, we will have been saying something else. So I see this as very educative. I see it as highly informative. And I think, if we encourage our youths in this line, we'll have more entrepreneurs.
Arubieke called on private development partners and facilitators of the day to encourage youth to take up agriculture to end unemployment. And now to the rest of the stories. Lagos State government has allayed the fears of residents over the reported case of coronavirus COVID-19, saying the patient is stable and confirmed that there is no evidence of person-to-person transmission yet. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who stated this today at a press conference jointly addressed alongside the State Commissioner of Health, Akin Abayomi, and his counterpart in Information and Strategy, Benga Motosho, said it has begun tracing those who had contact with the patient who developed the symptoms in Ogun State, where he had a business meeting on Tuesday after he arrived Lagos from Milan, Italy on Monday without symptoms, but was later referred to Lagos after exhibiting the signs and was first treated at the company's facilities in Ogun State. With surveillance officers stationed in all the local government and local council development areas, the state governor tasked Lagosians and Nigerians in general on preventive measures through observing proper personal and environmental hygiene. Governor Sanwo-Olu, who hinted that there are various levels of escalation, said the state is constantly in touch with the National Center for Disease Control, federal government, and all other stakeholders, while surveillance, monitoring, and containment will be intensified.
Assure our citizens that for us here in Lagos, everything that needs to be done, we're doing, and will continue to have dialogue and support, if required, from the Federal Ministry of Health. But we're sure that, like the professionals have said, that this patient is stable, and every health intervention that is required is currently being given, and we can say that we're ready, and we're just hoping that we can very quickly put this behind us.
On his part, the Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, said Lagos has a sophisticated response mechanism, and as of now, government has activated its disease control center with an 80-bed facility with plans to scale it up to contain the spread of the virus.
Now, we can run the test in 2 centers in Lagos, one in our biosecurity facility and another at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital. The important thing to know now is that the patient is confined. We have aggressively started to identify all his contacts to the airline. His symptoms are subsiding. He does not have any symptoms of respiratory disease, which is probably a good thing, but he does have fever and body pains. If he had respiratory symptoms, it is probably likely that he may be more contagious than he is at the moment.
He urged Lagosians to exercise a high level of suspicion at all times, especially for those just arrived in the country, and report any suspected case through the following helplines: 0803 356 5529 or 0805 281 7243. You can also call 0802 31 69 485. And still Still on the virus, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has deployed its rapid response teams to support the Lagos State government as Nigeria records its case of the coronavirus. Its Director General, Chikwe Ihekwazu, who made this known to newsmen in Abuja, said health facilities must remain on high alert. Ihekwazu assured Nigerians of their safety against COVID-19. Kwara State government says its directive to civil servants to open new salary accounts with commercial banks of their choice is not designed to cripple microfinance banks. Speaking to newsmen in Ilorin, Chief Press Secretary to the state governor Rafiu Ajakai said the policy was to fight the menace of ghost workers which had gulped millions of public funds at the expense of development. Ajakai said that the federal government had also taken similar steps to clean up its payroll and restore sanity to the system. And now to foreign news. Dozens of Turkish troops have been killed in Syrian government air raids, marking a dramatic escalation in the conflicts between Ankara and Moscow-backed forces in northwestern Syria. The 33 deaths followed an attack late yesterday and comes as Syrian government forces backed by Russian air power are attempting to seize the last remaining territory held by Syrian opposition forces who are backed by Turkey. The toll is the deadliest suffered by Turkey army since it intervened in Syria in 2016 and is raising fears of a direct confrontation between Turkey and Russia on the battlefield. In sports now, after failing to qualify for the Taekwondo event of the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Chinazo Nwosu has set her sight on winning a medal at the 2021 World Taekwondo Championships in Wuxi, China. Nwosu, who is the African champion, lost in the semi-final of the Olympics qualifier in Rabat, Morocco, to Niger Republic's Takias Ben. Nwosu said she was shattered, missing the Olympics for the second time after preparing for 4 years. And that's the news at 4. But just before we go, please watch out for road signs and adhere strictly to them. You can listen to Lagos Traffic Radio on our website www.trafficradio961.ng and follow us on our various social media platforms: Twitter at Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram Lagos Traffic, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) and the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology (NCAT) have urged aviation stakeholders to take advantage of training and retraining programs to improve the safety record of the sector. Lagos State government has allayed the fears of residents over the reported case of coronavirus COVID-19, saying the patient is stable and confirmed that there is no evidence of person-to-person transmission yet. We also told you that dozens of Turkish troops have been killed in Syrian government air raids, marking a dramatic escalation in the conflicts between Ankara and Moscow-backed forces in northwestern Syria. And in sport, after failing to qualify the Taekwondo event of the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Chinazom Nwosu has set a sight on winning a medal at the 2021 World Taekwondo Championships in Wuxi, China. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to newsroom@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Okpeyemi Shodunke. My name is Taiwo Baruwa. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.